Hello. Thank you for your interest in our Social Emotional Learning Winter Series. This is a six-part series with our friend, Kendra Cram. Kendra is a social emotional learning teacher for the Minford Elementary School in Minford, Ohio. In her position, she teaches weekly SEL lessons to approximately 600 students grades kindergarten through 5th. As a result of her work, the students at Minford Elementary have over 200 hours of conversations on SEL topics such as self-awareness, decision-making, anger management, and much more before transitioning to middle school. Kendra earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education K-8 with an emphasis in intervention for students with learning and behavior disabilities and a master's degree in school counseling. Kendra's work has been highlighted by multiple media outlets from podcasts to national television programs like This Is Life with Lisa Lang. Her work has served as a model for numerous schools in Ohio and beyond. Kendra is passionate about trauma-informed care and providing mental health education and support to all children. Kendra also provides training to help equip her fellow teachers with the tools to support the children they serve. She is also a single mom to 3 amazing children. This series is brought to you by the West Virginia Behavior and Mental Health Technical Assistance Center. It is a collaboration between the West Virginia Autism Training Center and the West Virginia Department of Education. Video 4 of the 6-part series is on Emotional Check-In.
Hi, I'm Kendra Cram, and I teach social emotional learning. And I want to talk to you today about how to lead your students through an emotional check-in. Now, I talk to students all the time about mental health and that our mental health is just as important as our physical health. We talk about how when we're sick, we go to a doctor, and when we are having trouble with our mental health, we might need to go see a counselor or do some coping skills to help us out. Teaching kids about their mental health is super important, and I want to help kids to realize that when they're having a tough time in life, it's okay to seek help and to seek support. Just like we go to a doctor when we're physically sick, we need to go and seek support from a counselor or a therapist anytime that we're having a time in our life where our emotions or our mental health is not doing so hot. So I want to teach kids how to do an emotional check-in, and I want to share that with you today. First of all, I'm going to start by doing several different lessons with my kids before I put it all together. I'm going to talk to them about their emotions and help them to identify and build their emotional vocabulary. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to teach them about the zones of regulation, which we've talked about in other of our videos. The blue zone is when I'm feeling sad or my body's moving slowly. The green zone is when I'm good to go and I am in a good place where I'm ready to learn. The yellow zone is the inside of my body is moving too quickly. I feel jittery or shaky or upset. I might feel nervous or embarrassed. The red zone is where I'm out of control. I'm super angry and I am not in control of my emotions. We talk about how to regulate our emotions or to do some coping skills to help us to get to the green zone where we're happy, focused, and calm. The next thing I want to do is I want to give a little lesson on the size of my problem. It's really important that the size of my problem match the size of my reaction. I don't want to have a super big reaction to a small little problem. Like I didn't get my candy at the grocery store, so I have a big tantrum and everyone's looking at me and I'm really upset. I also don't want to be in a dangerous situation where I have a really big problem, but I have a small reaction because that's not safe. I need to make sure that the size of my reaction is matching the size of my problem. So I need to do a lesson with students about how to assess the size of their problem. And so I talk to them, I bring in t-shirts that are all different sizes, and we talk about the size of each problem, and we do some sorts on, is this a small problem, a medium-sized problem, or an extra large problem? And we talk about that. So understanding that there's different degrees, that if I'm mad, it could be at different levels, or even happiness, or sadness, or worried. We talk about this so that students can start assessing their problems to start recognizing what is an appropriate reaction. The next little lesson I'm going to do with my students is on the intensity. Now, I want to differentiate this from the size of my problem, but this is how strong of a feeling I'm feeling. So this one I do on a rating scale of 1 to 10, where the other one I was talking about extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large size of my problem. This is how strong I'm feeling on the inside, okay? So I'm going to say that I am an angry 7. That tells you I'm pretty upset, okay? Or I am a nervous 10. Or I'm feeling a sadness at about a 4. And this is going to be important for our emotional check-in, but it helps to talk to kids about the emotional intensity that they're feeling at the time. Of course, I've already done some lessons on coping skills, so it's going to be easy for kids to be able to make a plan on how to help themselves and to regulate their emotions. I have some posters, I have some things of different coping skills that kids can do whenever they need to look at that, to reference, so that they can remember that lesson on coping skills. And that's going to be important for when we do our emotional check-in. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these mini lessons and I'm going to put them together and I'm going to model for them an emotional check-in so that they can see that this is something I have to do for my mental health as well. And I have to check up on my emotions and use some coping skills to get myself to a place where I'm happy, focused, and calm and ready for my day. So I'm going to show them how I do this. The first thing I'm always going to do is name my emotion. And today I'm going to say that I'm feeling really nervous. Okay, so I'm going to name what zone I'm in. I'm feeling nervous, so I'm in the yellow zone. I'm feeling kind of shaky and nervous and sick to my stomach, kind of jittery. So that tells me I'm in the yellow zone. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the size of my problem. And the problem that I'm having today is that I have a test that I'm not ready for and I haven't studied for, and the test is in just a few minutes. So I'm really feeling really nervous. I'm going to say that's probably about a medium-sized problem. No one's in danger. Might even be a small-sized problem. If it was a size 5 problem, I definitely need to seek help from an adult that I trust. But this is just a medium-sized problem. Now I want to talk about how intense that emotion is for me right now, and it's pretty intense. I'm feeling like a size 8 nervousness. So I really need to do some coping skills to get myself calmed down, because I know that my brain's not going to work very well if I'm feeling a size 8 nervous during my test. I need to calm things down so that my brain is working well and I feel happy, focused, and calm, and I can do my best. This is where I'm going to make a plan. And when I make a plan, we've already talked about all kinds of coping skills that we can use to help us to regulate our emotions. I even have posters of these throughout the classroom so that kids know and can reference some different tools that they can use and some different things they can do for their plan when they're doing their emotional checkup. So I said I'm at a size 8, nervous for my test, and I need to do some things to calm down. The first thing I'm going to do, now is where I'm going to model for the students some things that I can do to get myself down one notch at a time. I'm not going to go from an 8 to 0. That's not even realistic. And it's not what happens for us as adults. So we can't tell kids that that's what they need to do. Just calm down, because that doesn't work. What does work is I'm going to take one step at a time, one tool at a time, and go down one number at a time to get myself to where I'm happy, focused, and calm. So if I'm in an 8, what can I do to get myself to a 7? If I'm at a 7, what can I do to get myself to a 6? So I can say, if I'm in an 8, I can ask for, if I'm in an 8, I can ask for help from an adult. If I'm at a 7, I could take some deep breaths and try to get my body calm. If I'm at a 6, I can go and get a drink of water and take a walk to take a break. So this is where I lead kids through what I would do to take each step and to get all the way to where I'm happy, focused, and calm. That's an emotional check-in. My next step in social emotional learning class is I'm going to lead kids through this with their partners. I'm going to tell them to get with their partner and tell them, first of all, name the emotion that you're feeling today. Second of all, tell your partner what zone that's in. Third, what is the size of your problem? And fourth, how intense, on a rating scale of 1 to 10, how intense is that emotion that you're feeling today? And the last step, tell your partner what steps you're going to do to get yourself happy, focused, and calm. The next thing I'm going to do in social emotional learning class is I'm going to lead kids through this. I dim the lights and put on some soft music, and I tell the kids just to think inside their head, what emotion are you feeling today? What zone are you in? What's the size of your problem? How intense is that? And now I want you to make a plan for how you're going to help yourself, what coping skills you're going to use in order to get happy, focused, and calm again. A lot of times we'll do a journal entry or a reflection piece on that to talk about so that they can get some of their feelings out about how they feel. That's how to do an emotional check-in and to lead your kids through that process. And I just want to challenge you to try that out with your kids and give that a try and see the difference that it makes in your classroom. It's really important that we help kids to see that we need to take time to check in on our mental health. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.
For additional resources, please visit the West Virginia Early Childhood Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports website at www.wvecpbis.org. Thank you for viewing video 4 of our 6-part social emotional learning series. If you would have any questions, contact us at kelly9@marshall.edu or at 304-696-2332. Be on the lookout for our next video, which will be on mindfulness.